LSAC just released a new LSAT prep test with a logic games section, weirdly enough. Today, I'll walk you through what this means for your LSAT prep and how best to make use of this new LSAT exam. But first, for those who don't know me, my name is Steve Schwartz. I've been teaching the LSAT since 2005, and I personally increased my own LSAT score from a 152 to a 175. Now, LSAC has not added this exam into LawHub yet, although I anticipate they will in the coming months. For now, this exam is only available as a PDF on LSAC's Zendesk website. They're calling it the February 2024 LSAT because this is probably the last time they administered this exam. It was administered on prior occasions, of course. LSAC reuses exams several times before releasing them to the general public. This exam has 3 scored sections, 1 logic games, as I mentioned, 1 logical reasoning, and 1 reading comprehension. My guess is that LSAC released this with the logic games section by mistake. This, of course, does not mean that LSAC is going to have the logic games section on the LSAT going forward. They removed logic games after the June LSAT and replaced it with a second scored logical reasoning section. So I would disregard the logic game section of this exam entirely. If you want to do it for fun, that's totally fine. You want to do a game with your morning cup of coffee instead of a Sudoku or a crossword, that's totally fine. But I would not consider logic games any actual LSAT studying because, of course, LSAC removed logic games and replaced it with a second scored logical reasoning section, meaning that although LSAC has released this as a so-called full test form with a raw score conversion chart, I would disregard logic games. I would not do this in one full timed setting. Instead, I would take this as additional practice, like 1 logical reasoning section as a timed setting to work on your pacing, 1 reading comp section, again in a timed setting to work on your pacing. I expect that LSAC will include these individual sections under the additional practice section of LawHub at some point in the relatively near future. Again, they're releasing of this as a full LSAT exam with 3 scored sections, and the conversion chart is probably just an oversight. I'm going to link to the PDF directly below this video on LSAC's Zendesk website. If you want to download it for your practice, you could print it out since, of course, this is not yet in LawHub. If you're taking the LSAT in January or beyond, we don't necessarily know when LSAC is going to put this in LawHub. And so if you want to use it for your January LSAT prep, I would again recommend using the PDF for now, unless we see LSAC including it in LawHub somewhere in the relatively near future. Of course, if you do want timed LSAT practice in a full exam context, LSAC has 58 numbered exams on LawHub, numbered as LSAT exams 101 to 158. I would save some of the older ones for drilling questions by type. I'd save some of the relatively newer ones for individual timed sections, and of course, save the newest exams for full-length timed practice as test day approaches. Of course, the full timed exams should contain 2 scored logical reasoning sections, 1 scored reading comp section, and then 1 unscored extra section of either logical reasoning or reading comp. Again, don't take the inclusion of logic games in this February 2024 LSAT as an indication of logic games coming back or something. That's not what's going on here. That's just an oversight on LSAC's part is my expectation. And if you'd like my help making the best possible use of the released LSAT materials, whether they are full scored exams 101 to 158 or they're the individual sections under the additional practice section of LawHub, at LSAT Unplugged, we create personalized day-by-day study plans for all of our students, laying out exactly what to do from now through your test, whether you're taking the LSAT in January, February, or beyond. This is, of course, just one part of what we do. We also offer live online classes via Zoom, on-demand video courses, small group coaching, and one-on-one coaching. If you're interested in finding out more, you can check out the links below. To book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out. And in the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.